I'm really sorry for being late, but your grand hotel here only delayed me. We had ordered for a tea for 45 minutes, and they couldn't prepare tea for us. Now what's happening to us here? We have to understand that people are not normal in these modern times. There's something going wrong with them somewhere. And maybe something serious is happening within us, which is giving such a collective effect outside. Now the trouble is, we do not know what we are inside. Unless and until we know what we are, unless and until there is light within us, we cannot understand what the problem with us is. But we just accept whatever we know with whatever our limited awareness is. Because the human awareness is not reached that state of fruitfulness where one can say that I know definitely this is my use. I know definitely why I am here. I know definitely what is my purpose. Why I became a human being from the amoeba stage. Why all these troubles were taken by the nature to make me a human being. We are not being able to answer these questions at all. But the human mind is such that it compromises with everything. You see, it is like a little oyster, which gets a stone inside. It's a little house, a shell. So he says, all right, now I'm not going to bother much now. It's all right. So it goes on weaving around that little part of that stone, whatever it is, which is just troubling. Then by some movement, he gets a little more pinch. Then he goes on again and again and again like that. That's how we live in this world most of the time. And we think, oh, we are on top of the world. Nothing is wrong with us. Till we come face to face to something that is disastrous. Some disaster shocks us. And then, oh, how it happened. Like war. Till we reach to the point of war, we are preparing for war in many ways. But when the war breaks on us, then we are shocked and we say, oh God, what happened? Today the war is within ourselves, not without. We are not realizing how it is building up within ourselves. For example, cancer is the physical war within ourselves. We are not aware of that. We just accept our body as it is. Tomorrow we go to the doctor and says, you have got cancer. We jump in the sea, finished. We don't know how it is caused, why it has caused, what have we done to ourselves. Another person is alright for normal purposes. Suddenly the psychologist said that you better go to the lunatic asylum. And we are there. We find ourselves I'm a lunatic. We are wondering, how is it I am here? Supposed to be sane. Then we find certain people who are seeking their spirituality or all other seeking. They think, oh, we have got this, we've got that, we should have this, and we are now on top of the world. And where do you find yourself? You have lost all your money, everything, you are nowhere. You are a recluse. You are fragmented. You have no relationship with your society. As you have come, you have added nothing to your society, nothing to yourself, and have just finished your life like that. We have given nothing to the nature from which we have taken, nothing to this society that we are living in, nothing to the country where we are, nothing to the universe that has made us, and nothing to God who has created us. Because in the name of God also I've seen such hocus-pocus going on. All kinds of hocus-pocus going on in this world. You don't imagine how far people can go with this kind of thing. They want to make money. All kinds of things they'll start. Oh, there's a place here. If you go, you'll get cured. All right. Thousands of people will be going there. It's all hocus-pocus. Just imagine. All the money is exhausted. Everything you find that, oh, you have achieved nothing. Then you think that, all right, let's have some fun. At least you have nothing to do. Let's have some fun. So what is the idea for fun is also very funny. Because the fun is that how we give up our respectability. You see, fun means, today we went to a shop, and the shop we had parked at an angle from the main road, and there was a big, a pub, where some boys, young boys, good, nice boys, were taking some beer or something. And a girl came and parked the car in one place. When she went away, they got down from their pub, they were on the balcony, came down, lifted her car, actually lifted all of them, put it on the other side and put the same type of car in her place. They took about to do this half an hour, and they thought they were having fun, laughing, joking, this thing, that. How can such foolish fun make you happy? This is stupidity. Wasting your time. Idiocy. I can understand a little boy doing it, but behind it is something sinister. As if they were possessed, I felt. They didn't know how much the girl will be worried unnecessarily. On the contrary, if they had put in that much effort to do good to someone, the joy would have been much more lasting. But this is the problem with human beings, is that they do not recognize. They do not know. They have no their moorings. They cannot fathom where they are. Where are they drifting? As long as there's nothing that is troubling them, they go on moving on to seamlines. Of course, in the modern times, despite all this, there's a big seeking going on. People are born with seeking. Children are born with seeking. From childhood, they find that there's something wrong. They find sometimes, even in their family, as if their parents, their relations are extremely narrow-minded, they are very funny. They find some people in the society extremely aggressive, or all kinds of things they find. And then they open their eyes and they start seeing relatively. Am I also one of them? Am I going to be one of them? Then relatively they start seeing, no, that's not the life. There's something wrong. Because these people who are born like that are of a different caliber, of a different temperament, of a very different quality. But they also gradually lose their quality when they get into the mundane life and when they accept other people so easily. They also accept that, all right, whatever was there was ego. So this was too much of an ego in us. It was a colossal ego within us. By ego we dominated. So they said, all right, let's go back. We try to become primitive. Now you cannot become primitive because the brain is not. Your brain is overdeveloped. Even if you try, you cannot become primitive. Because in a primitive man, thinking process is very little. While what you do, your only life is nothing but thinking. Like two horns of thinking all the time growing out of you and creating a circle all around you. How can you become primitive? So also these are all only conceptions within us or convictions that will become that. By convictions you do not become. Supposing I have convinced myself that I am the Queen of England. Will I become? Or I get an idea, conceive an idea that I am this and this. Will I become? I have to become. It is so simple as that, isn't it? It is so practical. You see, if I tell you that you have to have your tea, all right. Then you will say, I've never had my tea. What about the tea? Till you have it. You have to have it. But you'll say, no, all right. As long as I've said I will have my tea, all right. That up to that point is all right. I've had already. That kind of a misconception we have, that without doing it we feel quite satisfied about it. And this is called as the great illusion of Kali Yuga, called as Mahamaya. If the greatest illusion is this, that human beings are made to believe what they are not. They accept such a situation many a times. It's all right in a drama, you are watching, say, a very big hero, say, Napoleon fighting and Wellington fighting. Suddenly you feel, I am Napoleon. Maybe, all right. But in real life also we get assumptions like that, which are really falsehood, which are not ourselves. So we come to the point, what are we? Actually, what are we? If these are assumptions and conceptions, what are we? Really, what are we? And we are nothing but the spirit. We are that eternal being within us reflected, which is called as spirit, the Atma. That is what we are. The rest of it has no meaning at all. For example, there's a lamp which has no light in it. What will you do with it? Say there's a tube which has no light in it. What do you think about it? Supposing this machine is here and it doesn't work, what do you call it? A junk. In the same way, if we do not find out that light within us, if we do not enlighten ourselves with that light, we are not finding out our meaning, our purpose. We are wasting our life either with our ego or with our conditioning. Conditioning, of course, can be found out in no time. Very easy to find out the conditioning, which takes place through this left side channel, which is called as the Ida Nadi. Is a subtle center, a subtle channel within us called as Ida Nadi. This is the power we have got by which we desire. In Sanskrit, this one is called as Mahakali power. The power of desire, by which we desire. Desire does not have materialized thing. You may have desire, people may desire to become the king of England, but that's not so, isn't it? Just it's a desire. So the power of desire comes through this one, which is called as Mahakali. This power flows through in a channel called as Ida. Now the names are in Sanskrit. The trouble is, all this was discovered thousands of years back by seers who gave it a Sanskrit name. Also, it has some meaning that these names, they got it from the unconscious. So these are not Sanskrit names, but are the names actually of that thing. So this is the Ida Nadi, which manifests within us the power of desire. It is also called as Chandra Nadi, meaning the line of moon. On the right hand side, you see another power by which we act, the power of action, called as the Mahasaraswati power, which resides within us as the power to act. In two ways we act, and also power to act, to think. Like whatever we have to do, we think about it. So it can be divided in two halves. One is when we act because of our physical capacities, and when we think because of our rational capacity. So these two powers reside within us in a very subtle way. And outside, they express themselves in a gross as two sympathetic nervous systems called as left and the right sympathetic nervous system. By the left sympathetic nervous system, we accept all the conditioning which Freud has described as conditioning through this one, because it takes you to your past. So this represents the line of your past. The right hand side one gives you the future. That is the one which gives us the idea of future. For example, animals do not have much idea of the future. They mostly live with their conditioning. Their only left side is really developed. So much so that the pineal body, which is in our brain, which controls our left side, is more developed in animals than in human beings. Then as a human being, your right side start working, because we think, we speak, and we think of the future. Right side is developed. With the conditioning, you develop a superego, by which you can be a person who is very frightened, who take aggressions from others, who are very subdued, over-subdued. You run away from your duties, you escape things, lots of things are there, if you are overdeveloped left side. But if you have overdeveloped right side, then you develop that horrible yellow thing like a bile called as Mr. Ego. And this ego today is quite prevalent everywhere and is a big problem, because after realization we start seeing it and that we don't know whether to laugh or to cry the way things work out. So this ego is also responsible for our funny behavior towards others. Now, the problem of ego is that people do not find it out till they really suffer badly. Because ego is something that doesn't give trouble to the individual so much as to the society. It gives to the society, for example, such a place or such a community where the ego is prevalent, the families will break. and the societies will break. People will be extremely arrogant and troublemakers, and they will be the ones who will have all kinds of aggressions on other countries, and they will not allow anybody to aggress them. They will suppress other people. This is Mr. Ego working. So you do not find the mistake of the ego. Ego can be developed with so many things by the society, sir. Like you must have seen, they always say that if you wear this dress, you will look very nice. Now you think, that's the one I should go in for. Oh, that's the one for me. All such pampering of that ego can be worked out in a society which is absolutely hovering with you. Now to say that ego is better or superego is better, I say both are equally the same. Because both take you away from reality. While reality is in the center is the most beautiful thing. And that is you. These are artificial two balloons. They can be punctured in no time, and you could be yourself. They are just trying to put you down. Whether it is ego or superego, they are hiding your spirit, which is in your heart. Now, we have an arrangement within us, which God has created within us. Very beautifully. Because He has created everything within us. We have not created anything within us. Even if we want one hair to grow, we cannot make it grow. I mean, everything He has done, we have done nothing about ourselves or about nature. We cannot transform one flower into fruit. That's what we are. But we think no end of ourselves because of Mr. Ego being there. You see, because he makes us feel, oh, we are great. Some people even say, how can there be God? After all, you see, we've done this, we've done that. No, I ask them, what have you done? Except for changing a chair to a table and table to a chair. And then the chair sits on your head and the table also sits on your head because you cannot live without them. The matter which we have converted from dead to dead is also giving us habits. So we have done nothing to think that we have achieved something. It's really tomfoolery. But see in the nature, see everywhere. The living work of God is so evident what a tremendous power is working it out. After all, you have become a human being from amoeba. How have you become? There must be some tremendous power that has done this. And what is that power? That is what we have to become. Now within us also lies that special thing called as Kundalini. It is a 3.5 coiled power within us, which is our germinating power. This power we have to awaken. If this power is awakened, then she rises in the center, in the present, integrating all these centers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 centers. All of them representing our 7 beings within us. Also representing our growth in the evolutionary process, like the milestones. Integrating all of them, enlightening them, and she takes us to that point where we become. Again I say we become, we do not assume, it's not a conception. You become that. You become the spirit. You become realized. You get realization. It is not just talking about it. It has to happen. If it does not happen, say it does not happen to my own children, I say it does not happen, what can I do about it? I cannot sprout your seed. The seed has to be sprouted and sprouting has to take place. It's not a plastic seed. It's a real seed. And every real seed must be sprouted. And every real seed can be sprouted. But unless and until it is sprouted, we cannot say that it is there. Now the sprouting of the seed takes place by the rising of the Kundalini, going through all these centers and piercing through this area called as the fontanelle bone. Now you know that you are baptized. This bone is baptized here. But nobody knows what it means. Baptism. Christ has said you are to be born again. Now how many churches are doing that job? Only by giving a so-called blessing over here do you get awakening of your Kundalini. I mean, let us face it. By going to any one of these theological colleges and experts, can they produce this effect? Because this college is different. This is the college of God. Your authority doesn't come by wearing a particular type of a dress and a gown and standing very seriously and saying, all right, I bless you. Who are you to bless? It's such a mockery going on. I mean, they have no right, they have no authority, they have no technique. Same about Hindus in India. I mean, if you think that Hindus are sensible people, You are sadly mistaken. We have thugs, absolute thugs as Brahmins. They are not Brahmins. They are actually Roman soldiers born in India. You see their faces. In Benares especially, they look like Romans. Horribly dishonest and aggressive. It's all mockery going on in the name of God. But when the Kundalini really rises before a person who is an authorized person, you can see with your naked eyes the pulsation of the Kundalini in the triangular bone, even above it, wherever it is near. Now there are so many people here who have seen. In London we have so many people who have seen it. But still the question of ego is quite a lot. It's quite a lot because people can't believe it. They just don't want to believe it. They want to continue with their nonsense. They just don't want to get it. And also they feel, why Mataji, why should she do? I mean, I said, now if it is my lot, what am I to do? Now you better do it. If you can take my place, I'll be very happy to settle down. Now, I've been traveling for months together. Now from Portugal I came, then this program, that program, and it's too much. But what I feel, that if supposing that's my work, I should do it, isn't it? And whatever is your work, you should do it. But I don't feel that you know so many other things. I do not know. I don't know even how to drive. I'm so bad at many things, So I do not feel bad. Why should you feel so bad if I know the work of Kundalini? Moreover, I do it out of love. Just love. Nothing but love. In that love, I find all solace and happiness. And that is what is essential. I have come for that purpose only. It has to be done. If it is not done, what is going to happen to this human race? Nothing but destruction. You can see clearly, writ large. It's not a frivolous thing that we should give up. We have to understand that we have to get transformed. The whole human race has to be transformed. And this is the last judgment today. It has started. You are going to be judged by your Kundalini. How? God is not going to weigh you, how many seers you weigh. Like the way you have your beauty competitions. It is the Kundalini which is going to say how far you are. I've seen people in Birmingham before I've come. I'm sorry to say, but in Birmingham I've seen people are very frivolous. They come to my program, get their realization, finished. They're not bothered about it to see what it is, what they have to do, why they got it. It's like Christ's parable that you throw some seeds here and some seeds there. And so many of them are just wasted. It's such a sad tale of human callousness and lack of self-esteem. Absolutely, it is a very sad thing. You do not know what we are facing. And that's why people play with their lives in such a cheap way. It's most surprising. Tomorrow their children are going to teach them a lesson. And I don't know what's going to happen to your children. So now I have to request you to be attentive about it, to get to it, work it out. Have it within you. And know all the knowledge about yourself and about the spirit. It is a very simple thing to give realization, but very difficult in this country especially to maintain. So, for you, it is necessary to put in an effort after realization, not before. Before you cannot do it. Before that somebody will work it out. But after realization, you have to look after yourself. Look after your being. This is what you have to seek. This is what you have to have. Now some people have been to some other things like, now, I would say TM now. I went to Portugal, I was surprised the boys they had nothing. They did not know what they were doing. They did not know. They had no feeling, nothing. They did not know if they were realized or not realized, if I was realized or not realized. They had no sensitivity. They had no awareness developed. Nothing. What they were doing were saying some mantra. And by saying that mantra, they were really cutting out all the sensitivities within them, because these were artificial things. I mean, you can do it. Why take mantra? Even if you say stone, 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 go on saying for 3 months, you will be in lunatic asylum. And the people from this TM now are coming as epilepsy. We have here 2 people who have come with epilepsy. But I told them, why don't you tell your mantra? They said, why do you want to know? I said, because you are under that conditioning, which I have to remove. I know already, but you have to tell me to show the courage that you want to get rid of it. They said, it's a secret. I said, how can there be a secret? What is secret in nature? Have you seen anything? See the ocean. See the flowers. The best is open. Absolutely the whole Brahma, the whole truth is open. If it is not open, it is not truth. If it is hidden, how can it be the truth? Truth is light. It has to be transparent, absolutely clear-cut. But the secrecy business can be only with thugs and with mafias and things like that. Because they are afraid. They are afraid of the statutes of God, of His laws. That's why it is a secret. In nature or in any God's work, in any great man's life, what was secret? They were standing on top of the hills and mountains and shouting, be awakened, you the blind. What was done secretly in Christ's life? I would like to know. Was there anything secretive in His lifetime? Why this kind of a secrecy working? Why not people understand? It is important that human beings must know that the time has come for them to transform, to enter into the kingdom of God, to be the citizen of God, to be looked after by His angels and all-pervading divine love. He is a Father who is compassion and love. He forgives all our sins and everything because He wants us to have all His powers and all His beauty. You cannot understand a Father of that kind who is absolutely impatiently waiting for you, who is so anxious. And that is the only concern He has out of everything, that when are my children going to know me? At this stage, when we cling on to things which are useless and nonsense, we must know that what did we know in our awareness? This is the only question you should ask yourself. Do I know what's the matter with this person? Do I know what's the matter with me? If there is light, I will know. I will know the other person as well as myself. Supposing you have a light in your hand, you see yourself and you see the other person. But if there is light within you, you see your light, and in your light you see the other person. That's what happens in realization, that you get collectively conscious. You become collectively conscious. Again, I say you actualize that awareness. It is not that I tell you you are all brothers and sisters, but just happens to you that you start feeling others on your finger. This is a very dynamic thing, should happen to all of you. It's not perchance I'm here. It looks like that because my husband got elected to this post and I had to come from India. It's not perchance. It is the tribute to this great country that I had to be here, and tribute to my English children that I had to be here to look after. For I must tell you, I have told so many people, and I must tell you, of course it should not give you ego, but it's a simple thing, that English young people are the best in the whole world. Among all the young people, they are sensible, scholarly, wise, logical. If you give them logic, they are sensible. But for Birmingham, I cannot say just now. Let's see how it works out. We have some very good, high people, very great people, but some. On the whole, England is the heart of the whole universe. From here, everything circulates. You have no idea of this country. You have no esteem of this country. The way we have tortured our motherland here, I wish people could know. She's suffering within herself. Only Blake has cried. He has cried of Jerusalem, and that's what I'm talking about. He could see that vision because he was that sensitive. He's the one who was a realized soul, and he was that sensitive he could feel it, and the way he has described, the way he has talked, the glory of this country. All this inertia, all this lethargy, all these curses that are settling into this country are because of our foolishness and stupidity. You are the most dynamic people. And not only that, in spirituality you are very dynamic. For your spiritual work, you can be very, very dynamic. You are the ones who are going to throw away all the shackles of nonsense. And you are the one who are going to recreate a beautiful arena for the whole world. That's why I'm here. I've been here for 6 years. You won't believe that. And again, I'm here for 6 years. Perhaps, I hope so. I hope something substantial will be done in all the parts where the English, who are my children, who are saints of the past, are born in this country. receive this and settle into it and not waste their energy in the ego that your forefathers did, who were nonsensical. They just wasted their life. Because you are not the same. You are different people. You are people very different. Your aspirations are different. Of course, there were some great people also in the past. I'm not saying that. But not so many as they are today. But they will be lost if they try to follow the mundane type of understanding of life. It is much subtler, much greater. Unless and until you are realized, you cannot understand what I am talking. Krishna has said, sa pashyati. The one who can see can only see. What's this of talking to the blind? I went to see Mr. Mascaro, you might have heard his name, from Cambridge, and the love and everything, the way he surrendered himself. And he said, Mother, sa pashyati. The one who can see can only see. How many can see you? Can they see you? I said, I'm sorry, not so. I'm sorry for that. He said, I have a friend who has a Nobel Prize, and he's developed this thing, and he's got a Nobel Prize. Oh, he's so blind. He doesn't know who has given him this power. How has he got this? Who has made this universe? He doesn't know. But how can he talk to him? I said, he'll come. He'll come when many will be there. Then they start thinking, oh, so many have gone, let's also follow. But the transformation is the only way which is the most convincing. If there is no transformation in you, who's going to believe in Sahaja Yoga or in me? Like many people who know me personally say that you are unique, you are different. But we can't believe that you can transform people. I am not transforming. There is already all arrangements there. All the cord is there just to be put to the plug to the mains. That's all I'm doing. I'm not transforming them. You are just ready for it and it works out. So please take your realization, maintain it, and receive that glory which is meant for you. May God bless you. Questions, please ask. Again, not nonsensical. I read in a book of a tantric and this and that, all that. I don't want to discuss any library and any controversial points. Please ask something sensible. And I think you will know what to ask. Thank you. Thank you very much. Without any fear, I'm your mother. I'm not a guru. Absolutely, I'm your mother. You are your own guru. Only thing I have to give you the keys of your Gurudam. That's all. Just ask me a very simple question. Coming from simplicity, not complicated. Wow. How many? I must say we got 50 people. Just had gone for a wedding, imagine, to have 50 people realized and such great love. You don't know how much. And the recognition is so great. I mean, I was amazed at those people. I think poverty is a blessing in a way. Wonderful people. Very beautiful. Questions, please? I mean, many of you cannot think because your Kundalini has crossed this. When it crosses Agya, you cannot think. You go into thoughtless awareness. So you just cannot think. Even if you want, you cannot think. That's the problem. So just try to think. This is your own Kundalini which is transforming. In Australia, today, I received a tongue call from Australia. And they said, Mother, we don't have to say anything about anything. Just the Kundalini does the job. Now these Australians were supposed to be convicts on things. Imagine their children are doing such wonders. Much more than in England, for your information. 2 boys came to India. 2 of them. And they have got now 200 people. What's it? What's it? What is it? I will hear I.
He says there are lots of people he knows in Birmingham who feel in a similar way that they have given up.
What is disappointment? Is it selling something here? You see, the whole attitude is of ego. You are disappointed in you or in me?
No, he says other people.
Huh?
Not him. Other people he knows.
What are they disappointed? Huh? What is it?
Why don't you come nearer so we can hear you?
Related to them? No. Isn't it? Now you... Yeah. Yes.
Is that a lot of things around us, how confusing, corrupt, and other things, you know?
All right.
And ourselves, it's like we are part of them.
Yes, all right.
You know?
Yes.
And also, like, well, me and also people I know.
Are part of it.
Deep thoughts, right? Well, when I say deep thoughts, not deep as in some character's world. It's within this world, but it's something which is very extraordinary.
All right.
It's like, well, I think that God loves everybody in the same way how he was talking more than right? Right. Like they used to be better than how I say it. But it's like how he's showing his love or anything, but he doesn't, I mean, not physically, not in the same way how we feel, right? I think that God should show the same way, because how I am now, I'm declining. I tell you the truth, I'm declining. And I don't want, like, this here, right, to me, is like a last chance, you know, where I'm trying to understand in this world.
All right. You are a very nice boy. And this should work out. Now, what you said is correct. That even if you want to love somebody, people don't like it. You see, they want to hate. Is it possible? I do not say. But now how to make people love? Even when we love somebody, we do not love the way it should be divine. The divine is love is something like the sap rising in the tree. It goes to every part of the tree, goes to all the flowers, doesn't get attached to anyone, and comes back. Supposing it gets attached to one flower. This is my flower, my child, my son, my community, my. All right? It's finished. The tree is finished, the flower is finished. All right? So the divine love is all-pervading. It exists all the time. It articulates within us. But still we are not feeling it. Like I would say there's ether here. There are lots of scenes and sceneries here, all right? But we cannot see. When you just plug a television, you start seeing them, catching them. In the same way, your television is not yet plugged. That's why people are disappointed. You are disappointed actually in yourself, because you find that what is this instrument for? Sometimes it is loved by somebody it was thrown by somebody tries to mishandle, sometimes somebody wants to fondle it. What sort of an instrument is this one? But then you reach a point where you become the spirit. And the spirit enjoys itself. The joy the spirit has is enjoying itself all the time. Our spirit is enjoying itself. It is not bothered whether other loves you or not. Doesn't matter. The spirit in your heart enjoys itself. All right? But what happens? We are not aware of it. So when this thing happens to you, your attention becomes enlightened by that enjoyment of the spirit, and you enjoy. You become a different person altogether. You forget all this. All these discriminations, nonsenses, everything drops out just like that. Because you become that universal being. This is not talking only, my child. It is happening. It has to happen. When it will happen, you will see the whole world will be changed. That has to change. After all, God never created some place here and some place there. He created one universe and one world. It is human beings madly, you see, they have changed. Now, this is your territory, it is mine. It's all falsehood. To me, it is a myth. You know, till the end, I had to go to Portugal. I had not taken my visa. Can you imagine? In the morning. Then they asked me, what about your visa? I said, what visa? To Portugal. I said, I never knew I have to take a visa. He said, of course you have to take a visa. So in the morning, you see, everybody has to rush from my husband's office to get me a visa. I just travel just like that. I thought, what is the need? Like a criminal carrying the number of your passport and everything. Isn't it funny? Imagine to a person like me who is absolutely naive in human affairs. It's absurd. Why to carry all this? After all, we are all human beings created by one God. On one earth. In complete unison. We are part and parcel of that one primordial being. We are cells in the body of that great being. And we are fragmented. That's why Once you know that you are the part of that, your fragmentation goes away and you become that. You become that. Then all your sense of security is established. All your self-esteem is established. All your glory comes to you and you start distributing it. I say this is the meeting point of capitalism into communism. When you have no capitalism, means in the sense you have no capital of your own. After all, this capitals all will vanish. This is useless. But the capital of your spirit when you have, you distribute. You give. That's the greatest communism. You can't live without it. You have to distribute your love. See, if I don't get any human beings, then I'll get some plants or something or some flowers. I'll try to love them. It's like that. Alright? You just wait and see. And you get all of them who are disappointed for nothing at all. Their connections are loose still. I have to just screw them up a little. Alright? Not to get disappointed, my child. The reality is so beautiful. It's just lying ahead of us. Don't be worried. Everything is going to be alright. Alright? May God bless you. Now, any other question? What a sweet thing to say. Isn't it? Want to ask some questions? Death. Now, why of all the things? All right, I'll tell you. Death doesn't exist. There's nothing like that. We are made of 5 cocoons. One of them is the cocoon of food, called as Annamaya Kosh. That only drops out. And also little bit of water within us also drops out. The rest of it remains, nothing to it. I wish we could die like that. We can't. It's just changing of clothes, Like when I came to Birmingham, I just changed my clothes in the hotel and came here. To be refreshed, to be new. Just like that. As our clothes become dirty, we change them. Or become old, we just change it. That's all. Death doesn't exist. It's a myth. But we believe, this is another conception, that by dying we solve the problem. Like we had some Swedish girls, much younger, 17-year-old girls, and they had vibrations just like a dead body. I was amazed. I called them in my house and I said, what's the matter with you? Why are you having such vibrations? What are you doing? What is your pastime? He said, our main thing is that we are planning how to commit suicide. Can you imagine? Sweden, the most affluent country, the young girls of 17 years blossoming like flowers should think of their death. Why? Because what does not die is your spirit. You seek your spirit. That's why people want death, because they have not found that eternal thing. Nothing dies. It's a myth. We should think of life and of eternal life. If we really want to be sensible, we should really not think of death. Because then we go on to the left-hand side, into the subconscious. Then into the collective subconscious. Like these, you must have seen these supernatural business going on, you see. And then you can be possessed by them. And you can be very much in trouble. Practically every day, I must be driving them out in thousands. Can you imagine? Yesterday I went to a place where they were all installed there very nicely, some old Johnnies sitting there still. I said, now why don't you depart and take your berths? Or go to your own places? They just don't want to go. They act as what you call these spirits and things like that. So forget it. You have to live in the present. Because it's the most beautiful thing. Absolutely beauty. What is in death? Nothing to be so serious. It's cheerfulness is the sign of life. What are you all upset about so much? What is your problem? Now tell me. All the problems can be solved if you get your realization. Believe me. Even so-called material problems. Not to that extent the way you will not become forts, but you'll be satisfied souls. And also, you will have sufficient. Yoga kshema vahamyaham, Krishna has said this. When you get your yoga, I look after your well-being, your physical, mental, emotional, and your material. Everything he looks after. Alright? It's assured.
Well, I know that truth is something which draws you.
Huh?
Truth is something whereas no matter which way it comes to you, so like when it comes falsely from a person, and it's true, you recognize it.
You do recognize. May God bless you for that. You are very sensitive because people don't. If they had recognized, why did they crucify Christ? Just imagine these thugs whom we are giving so much of money and people are going to them and they're nonsensical people, how they are using your women and all sorts of life they are leading. And how we have surrendered to them with all our intelligence and rationality, and to Christ. What did we give him? The cross. You have to really have a proper sensitivity to understand truth. Really. Otherwise normally people are naive. If somebody comes with 2 horns, they like that person much more than a normal person. One must carry a circus, you know. Circus is on. Truth is something which doesn't require any adoration with it. Nothing. It shines by itself. And there are many realized souls born on this land of your England, like these children are. They are all born realized and they have feelings, and some of them are born with the knowledge of Kundalini. Many, many. You don't know what dynamic people are going to born in this country. Very dynamic. We have already had a birth of a very dynamic person in London. Ask these children, they must be getting cool breeze. Are you getting cool breeze, my children? In the hand? Is he? What is he? Not too good. But still, it is coming. Yeah. See, they'll never be satisfied because other vibrations are also here. Now, what about you? Let's see. Just see. Not yet? Put your hands just like this. Let's see. Please put your hands like this. Just like. Put both the feet straight and sit very comfortably, but with a little alertness. Straight like this. Just like this. You start receiving that through your fingers. And an invitation is sent to the Kundalini when she rises. And now close your eyes. Please close your eyes. Now what happens is that you start feeling a cool breeze on your hand, through your fingers, a kind of a cool breeze which is known as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. That is the first thing, that's the first symptom. Put your both the feet on the ground, touching if possible. If they cannot touch, all right, but normally. And little apart. Don't open your eyes. Just keep them. It should be all right. Do not think. Do not think. Thinking should be finished. If it is not finished, then open your eyes and watch me. If there is no thought coming, then it's all right. Just open your eyes and watch me. And you, without thinking, you can do it. Better? Watch me without thinking. Go to Hamsa. Now don't worry about declining and all that. Alright? Don't feel guilty about anything. Because I'm talking about the ocean of love. See, you're standing before the ocean. Now what is your guilt? It's just a speck. Alright? Now forget it. Close your eyes. Now don't think about any guilt or anything like that. That's a nonsensical thing. Absolutely nonsensical. Because compare the ocean of forgiveness. What is a guilt? Just forget it. You are going to just get it. It's freely being distributed. It's your own. Do not condemn yourself. This is the temple of God. Love yourself first of all. Respect. Close your eyes, my child. Close your eyes. You must get it to understand everything. We have to forgive others. Just forgive. We must know that it's a myth. If we do not forgive also, we are just torturing ourselves. We are not torturing anybody else. Just forgive everyone. Just say, I forgive. Then only we can ask for forgiveness, isn't it? You just forgive and then ask for forgiveness from God. That by mistake, if I have done any mistake, or by any sort of a aggression or any torture or anything, please forgive me. And He forgives. Just forgive. Ask for His forgiveness and He'll forgive. Nothing needed. Just to ask for it and He will do it. But do not condemn yourself. Because your Father, the Almighty Lord, has created you and He cannot make any mistakes. You might have done some wrong, but doesn't matter. साक्षात शिवा पार्वती हम साक्षात शिवा पार्वती हम साक्षात शिवा पार्वती हम साक्षात आत्मा हम साक्षात आत्मा. Please pay attention to your heart now and just say, I am the spirit.